Everything works. So far, so good. Model moves good. Cool. Alright. Here we go again. I really should have a start soon screen, but I badly made my banner today, so I like literally woke up and I was like, oh shoot, I should probably finish that from earlier. Which I quickly did, and I think it looks cute, even though... Hi, Kayla. Do you like my cookie? Cookie. I put the cookie model in the corner of my screen so I can see it, but now I just kind of stare at it, and I like looking at it too much. But how's the volume? Is the game too loud? I have no idea. I know! Caro did such a good job. Oh. So, how are you, Kayla? Volume's good? Okay. I just leave it as what it was before, so I'm glad. Alright. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Long day it is. Oop. I figured it was just easier for me to do that than trying to pick. Thank you. I love it too. I like blinking way too much with these models. Blink, blink. A wink, a wink, and a blink. I still have my cough. So, as soon as I get over that, then everything will be fine. I'll be back to normal. And I got Portillo, so I have my chocolate cake shake. No, I know. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Kayla, for drawing it. I should have brought water over here instead of just me with my shake. But we're gonna make it work. Alright. I always get like nervous and like anxious when I first start these. Especially when I'm reading very often. It was another scorching summer day. The kind where no sooner had you finished one cup of water, you were already filling it up with another. Nah, I would drink orange pop. Orange pop would always feel like summer to me. I think we didn't drink much water in my family. I feel like it was either like something like either like apple juice or I feel like it was more apple juice. Shoot, I really don't remember drinking much water as a kid. Besides out of the hose. Everyone else had something on. So that afternoon, it was just you and Shiloh. This doesn't happen much, especially since Cove arrived. Water? What is that exactly? I think I only started drinking a lot more water when I got to college. Just because it was more easier to have that in my room than walking up like 5 flights of stairs for milk. Without Lizzie around, Shiloh looks to you for all the answers, and it made you feel pleasant? Frustrated? Nothing really. If he's just asking for answers, guess nothing.
Well, if that's the case, it was rather foolish for you to venture here, wouldn't you say?
Thank you for hosting, Kalo. Desperate always... Oh. I always thought to say Desperate always scares me, but... That's not Desperat's voice. That's just him in the image. It's Anton's voice. Oh, I forget that. Nothing really. Shiloh went along with whatever you wanted. So he wasn't a bother, but he wasn't much fun. Oof. I love the music of this game. I can't wait for the second one. Then I will stream that one blind, so you guys get my full reaction to that. I'll probably start giggling like a schoolgirl like I was with this one. You drained yet another drink. Oh wow, I'm chugging this water. I'm a thirsty bitch. Okay. I'm getting rid of my model so I can't see it so I stopped staring at it. You drained yet another drink and frowned at the empty vessel. Your thirst was gone. The thirst is real, yeah. But you still craved something icy cold and refreshing, something sweet, something like ice cream. A popsicle, an ice cream cone, or an ice cream sandwich. If it's summer, I've always liked popsicles. We would get like the ones where you just, like they're the long tubes and you just stick them in the freezer. That was as much water as I would get kind of close to in the summer. You wanted something bright, something fruity, ooh, fruity, and bright and colored. There was nothing like that to be found in the house, damn it. You knew that without needing to look, your moms didn't keep sweets in the house. Damn. No sweets? Outside, there were plenty of places where such goodies could be attained. But they were shops and demanded payment in exchange for the product. You sighed. You voiced your predicament out loud. You asked Shiloh for help. We're off to a great start. I guess I can say, I want a popsicle. Shiloh, who had been draped over the sofa, perked up.
Yeah.
That sounds good. We don't have anything like that in the house, and I don't have any money. Oh? Let me check if I have any. Shiloh rummaged through his backpack and probably produced an assortment of coins, plus one stray button. Ah, always the buttons. You set the button aside and counted the coins in neat piles. just over $1. You announced this to Shiloh. He had almost certainly came to the same conclusion, but has been watching you expectantly. It's not enough, or it's a start. Hi, Caro. Good morning. How's your morning going? I say it's a start. He's so cute. His little freckles. Oh my god, you're so cute. I know, look at it. I absolutely adore it. Shiloh beamed at you. We'll need to find some more. Okay. The two of you lift couch cushions, stuck tiny hands down into the deep crevices. I always hated putting my hands in the sofa. There was always like crumbs or whatever that would get stuck under your fingernails. Shiloh is such a cute. He is. It's going. Got a few more chores to take care of. Ooh. You walk your dogs in the morning, don't you? Have you done that? And Kalo, Shiloh's actually from a different game. And in that game you can date him. It's funny because you'll see later on there's another character, but I was going through this and I was like, huh, this kid looks like from the other game. I found out later that he actually was. Yeah, I had to look up to see if it was from the same company because I was like, oh, he looks vaguely like him. And I was like, oh. Yep, dogs are walked. You just gotta do lunch prep. I'll hop back on. Best of luck with lunch prep. The kid's warming out today. Nice. The two, where was I? Under the furniture, scavenging the back drawers. Mostly what you found was useless or gross. Bent paper clips, fluff wisp of dust, or sandy crumbs. But ever so often you would strike silver or bronze, adding it to the growing pile of coins. Yeah, look at him in his little overalls. Dusty and disheveled from checking every room and squinting into every tiny nook. I wasn't reading as bad as squinting for a moment. The two of you finished pooling your funds. Shiloh held his breath as you counted coins once again. $2, 53 cents, and 2 buttons. You didn't know when the second button decided to join the party, but you were too pleased with your successful haul to throw it out. Is that enough? You figured he knew the answer without looking to you for confirmation. But the thrill of your success and the reward... Oh god! Hi, Moltka! I thought I heard someone. Hi, baby. Scared the shit out of me. Hi. What are you doing? Goodbye. God, that's gonna happen so often since I have headphones in. Right, Walter? He's looking at me. You there? Oh no, he left. Okay. And the reward that followed canceled out any other feelings you might have had about that. Yeah. You could afford something at the shops, just one thing, but that was indefinitely better than none. Shiloh clapped his hands together. Woo. Yay! The two of you dashed outside, the promise of sugar buoy you on to your destination where breathless but happy you stared at the overwhelming number of options. You knew what you wanted, but it wasn't just you who contributed to the funds to get the treat. You seemed to notice your pause. Aren't you getting a popsicle? Shiloh asked as though he was entirely separate from the decision, rather than someone who staked with the stake in the outcome. Do you mind? Shiloh cocked his head to the side. It was your idea. You should choose. You went ahead.
Well, if that's the case, it was rather foolish for you to venture here, wouldn't
Thanks
you say?
for the host, Caro. Are you sure it's okay? You tried to get something you both wanted anyway. Well, if you want to be out, like, whatever, I feel like I want to get something you both wanted. It wasn't fair for you to be the only one who decided, oh, if I was a full kid, I was like, hell yeah, give me that. Definitely been non-shared. But the only one... It wasn't fair for you to be the only one who decides in what when he has been the main factor in making this happen. Some of the money came directly from his backpack. What would you like? Or what do you like? All of them. They're all so good. You pressed further. But what do you really like? Popsicles or ice cream? Which is your favorite? Aw, it's so hard to pick. I don't know. Frustrated, you caught to the heart of the matter. You want me to choose? Yeah. And that was that. You got the dessert you originally wanted and hoped Shiloh would actually like it too. Finally, the reward for all your hard work was in your hand. Would a popsicle from the shop be $2? I feel like those would be cheaper. Unless I'm like not thinking of the right popsicles. I have to give the goddamn cheap ones. You sucked on the fruity popsicle you bought. The ice treat cooled you down perfectly, and the zesty flavor was refreshing. You held it out to Shiloh so he can take a turn and shook his head.
You can finish it.
He didn't want any? After everything he did to help to get it. That was weird. But you accepted the offer. You tried to include Shiloh. You hesitated. Eat the damn popsicle, Shiloh. Even if Shiloh said it was okay, every story you've ever seen on TV or read in a book says sharing was caring. You stood your ground even as the treat started to trickle dangerously towards your fingers. It's only fair that you have some. We both bought it. But you wanted it more than I do. This poor kid. Dude, just take it. And getting to play was a lot of fun already. So you can have it. That's more fair. Sharing is care. I know, but he won't take the goddamn popsicle. You held it out to him. I want you to have some even more than I want to finish it, so eat your part. Relenting, Shiloh took the treat and gave it a taste. His eyes lit up.
Thank you.
It's really good, thank you. You smiled, pleased with your good deed. You picked the best one. Did he mean that? Shiloh was always nice no matter what happened, even if he hated it. And you knew he wouldn't say so. Maybe he thought it was gross and the real reason he didn't want to take some. You had no idea. You studied him as he ate a little more. He had every appearance of enjoying himself. Still weird. The two of you began to head home as he ate. Indirect kiss. You. Oh, the kiss. Stop! He's already blushing. You walked side by side on the shore in silence, but your thoughts kept drifting to the boy beside you. Why didn't he speak up for himself? It was almost as if Shiloh didn't know how to say what he felt, or was too afraid to. Yeah, totally. You figured that was his problem and didn't care. Are you scared of me? You thought it was kind of sad. Are we friends? Ooh. I don't know. I don't think he's scared of me. I don't know, actually. It was sad. Not being able to talk to people isn't fun. And you didn't want to be the kind of person that people were scared to tell their honest opinion to. Is this what 8-year-olds think about? Because you consider asking Shiloh about it, but he couldn't give an opinion on something like ice cream. He wasn't going to open up about this. You hoped for the best. Maybe you were wrong, or if you were right, maybe he'll feel better about it soon. Shiloh made you unsure about setting a label on the experience of spending the afternoon with just him. There had been good times, and then there were some been confusing ones. You were positive one thing, at least the treat was delicious, and that was nice. The sun was low on the horizon as you returned to your neighborhood. There you spotted the two very familiar figures up ahead, Lizzie and Cove. You opened your mouth to make your presence known to them just as you saw tears on Cove's face. Oh, no, baby's crying. You walked straight over, Shiloh at your heels. Once there, you defended Cove, took the moment to make a joke, accused Lizzie of causing trouble, or carefully asked what happened. Well, assessing the situation, she does not look like she's angry, and he's just crying. So, defending him won't do anything. It doesn't seem to be a choking thing. I don't think she's causing trouble. Why would you even pick the other option? Without a time machine, the only way you were going to find out was by asking the witnesses. Lizzie might have done something wrong, but she could have been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Or even come to Cove's aid and you wanted to hear the story. Cove, what happened? He's crying, gotta protect him. Pull out all the weapons, everything. Call the guard. Sophia, I got yelled at. Yelled at? Who the fuck's yelling at 8-year-olds? Let's fight him. He took a deep breath, steadying breath. Some grandparents got mad at me. Sorry. Lizzie jerked her head in the direction of the nearby house, and your heart sunk. You knew exactly what happened. Every year, the same mean old couple rents out the condo for the summer. You, Lizzie, and Shiloh knew to stay away from them, but Cove couldn't have. Well, they're old. It's time to let them go. Don't give them a proper burial. Just ship them out to sea. Yeet. Yeet them into the ocean. Goodbye, boomers. They're like that with everyone. Even your mom struggled to find anything nice to say about them. But the elder pair particularly took offense to kids. What assholes. Good night, Grant. Exactly. It didn't matter if they were really nice like Cove. What? Did I read that right? It didn't matter if they were really nice like Cove. Oh. Yeah, Lizzie said. Lizzie drew herself up at that. She looked pointing in your direction. I was helping. That's cool. Is there anything I can do?
No.
I'm just gonna stay away. Egg their house. Or you can teach them a lesson. There was a devilish glint in her eyes. I'm on laptop mode. Yay! Hey, Caro, you want some old people for your experiments? What? You should ding-dong ditch them. Go ring the doorbell and run. It'll be great because they're so slow. They'll never catch you. That's dumb. I don't want to go near them ever again.
You're just saying that because you're a chicken.
I didn't know Lizzie was bajunky. Cove glared, but it didn't take the bait, and Lizzie turned to you. You're not a chicken, are you? No, I'm a bajunky. Bark, bark, bark. Yep, cluck, cluck. I'm a fellow chicken. You'd rather just avoid them. I'll do it. Don't listen to Chuck. I kind of want to know what will happen if I do ding dong ditch them, so I don't even need to save. I could just... I'll do it. I'll go back and click the other answer, but I kind of want to know what will happen if I ding-dong ditch these bitches. Really? You took a deep breath, nodded. Lizzie squealed in delight. We'll go hide and run as soon as you hit that bell. Good luck! Lizzie and Shiloh ran across the road to take shelter in bushes. Even once they settled down, you could still make out two child-sized shapes staring from beneath leaves. You knew where to look for them, though, so you told yourself that the grouchy old people won't spot it. Cove sighed, his glance flickered to the house and back at you. Don't let them catch you, okay? Be careful. Oh, he's so sweet. I'll be quick as flash. This isn't gonna go well. It never does. Cove glanced back before he even reached the other side and stumbled as his foot caught the sidewalk. He straightened up, looked back to smile nervously at you before joining Lizzie and Shiloh in their hideaway. The weight of 3 pairs of eyes on your back was heavier than anything you carried before as you approached the door. As you hesitated to reach for the doorbell, then... You rung it? You didn't. You rung it. You slapped the buzzer and ran, blood thumping through your eardrums with every step. Would you make it in time? Approaching the hiding spot, you knew that there wasn't time to go around the bushes as the others had done. You took the shortcut and you leaped over them. Or, more accurately, you crashed on top of the bushes and then fell over to the other side. Cove quietly hissed as you unwittingly collided into him, but by the way his arms were out, seeming as he intentionally tried to cushion your landing. Aww. Shh. Lizzie put a finger up to her lips and nodded at the house. You disentangled your limbs from Cove's and spun around to see the old man. Framed in the doorway, peeking back and forth suspiciously. You covered your mouth with your hands, but it wasn't enough to stifle your giggles. Maybe he spotted one of you. Aww. Or maybe it was the leaves you displaced while jumping. His eyes locked on the bush, stormed over. Oh. I don't know if I want to finish this. Gasped as you looked to Lizzie. Run! Your sister did not hesitate to take her own advice, neither did Shiloh. Great. Are we going to be the ones who get caught? You got up, but seeming Cove struggled to extract himself and stand up. With one fully functional arm, you gave him a hand to get to his feet. It wasn't your intention to run, still holding on to each other, but neither of you remembered to let go. Aww. I'm like absolutely scared that Moltka's gonna appear out of nowhere again. God damn it, Cove. He has one arm, the other one's broken. Leave him alone. Why do you think he has a cast, Kalo? The old man hollers propelled you from the streets to sanctuary of the hill. Once you were safe, you did notice the stench? It didn't register. singe in your chest and the ache in your legs. You flopped down, the blades of grass tickled your face. Lizzie, who had taken the lead in the end, was already lazing on the ground. The four of you took a moment to catch your breath, enjoying the feels of the cool grass against your skin.
Cove.
Cove lifted his head. I told you that there were mean grandparents around here. Cove rolled his eyes and decided that this wasn't dismissive enough and rolled his whole body away from your sister. Lizzie chose to ignore his response and started chatting to Shiloh, who eagerly joined the conversation. In the back of your mind, you knew you'd be a second fiddle again to Shiloh once Lizzie came around. It always went like that. It was fine, you thought. Still felt a little sad after how much you spent together today, or it was always annoying. I've never played the side of the road. I just avoided the ding-dong ditching. I know, it was a little sad. You had hoped the two of you might have been closer, but you had to let it go. He was happy where he was. There were other things to attend to anyways. Aww. See, Kalo? Cast. You wiggled closer to Cove. He had calmed down for the most part and was inspecting a flower. I see it. His fingers pinched the stem and tilted the white petals towards him. That's a poppy. Oh gosh, my model freaks out when I cough. Cove glanced at you in acknowledgement, and then back at the flower. And the type of poppies on this hill have the name White Linden Poppy. My mom told me. He quirked a smile. That's funny. Bitch. He ran a finger around the edge of the petals. It doesn't feel like cloth. You would need a lot of them to make anything. He nodded and released the delicate plant. Evaluation, complete. This is my favorite kind of flower, but I don't know what it was called. Thanks. Oh, holy shit. I don't care. Okay. It's mine too. I like roses. Buttercups are really great. My favorite is snapdragons. Hibiscus are the best. Vanilla bees are pretty. I love sunflowers. I pick tulips. Type in your own answer. Orchids are the most special. Hi, Flame Angel. How are you? I like all flowers, or I don't really care about flowers. I only know what my mom has told me. I like that they give you a little type in your own answer. But I'm gonna go Flamingo! I'm gonna go just for the sake of the story. I like him too. I'm doing well, and how's everyone else? I still have my cough from my cold, so I'm getting over that, so. But doing pretty well. I got the new model from Caro. It's mine too. Oh, look at the fish! You saw Cove grin as before he ducked his head down, suddenly shy. That's nice. He's so fucking cute. Oh, I was about to say it's our first CG, but it isn't. It's the second one. Look at this man. What kid tucks in their own pants and stays like it? You moved onto your back with a small smile as he looked at the darkening sky. The blankets of clouds remind you of a thick throw you curled under on a it's a blanket. A thick throw that you curl under your on a cold, rainy day. You're so cute. Take me to jail now. I'm working. Ooh. So you still working on the body, Caro? You wondered if the clouds would be as soft. That just reminds me of Avatar, where you just jumped on the clouds. But pain is good. Dang, I didn't realize you were an M, Caro. They lazily float on by, splitting from each other, merging and morphing into new shapes. You saw a dolphin, you saw a car, you saw an alpaca, you saw a smiley face, and you saw cloud shapes. Dolphin! You saw a dolphin leaping through the sky. You nudged Cove and pointed to it. Look, a dolphin! Cove joined you in gazing skyward. Yeah, I see it. Really? No, but I like dolphins. Hey! He chuckled at your reaction. All the sun's light faded from the sky, and the moon rose higher. Lizzie got to her feet, dusting strands of grass from her bare legs, and surveying her surroundings. The ocean, visible from the crest of the hill, beckons with every sweep of the tide. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to the beach. There was no argument from the other two. Shiloh was still Shiloh, and Cove would never say no to going to the shore. He was a child of the sea, and you went home. Wanted to go there too. We're too tired to argue. We're happy to do what the others wanted. Objected to the plan. Sure, let's go. If everyone's going, I'm going too. I remember walking with Caro and Kalo all the way to the beach one night, I guess. Shit was cold, and Kalo, and I didn't wear my jacket for the first time in ever, and Kalo just goes, "You have a figure," and I was like, oops. I was like, oh no, she's found my secret, run. So you eagerly joined the others in descending the hill down to the water. Ooh. Oh, I only ever saw you with that. Look at the sandcastle. So cute. You stepped onto the sand for a second time that day, but it felt different at night. The beach was nearly quiet at this hour. Abandoned sandcastles and footprints in the sand, too big to belong to any of you, were the only indication of how busy it had been only hours earlier. Look at this ragtag team. Oh look, they're lined up by height. The four of you kicked off shoes off and removed socks and walked along the water's edge. The waves tickled your feet. I wonder what would happen if you tried to take a bath in the ocean with shampoo and everything. That would be bad for the fishes.
Jeez.
I didn't say anyone would do it. Jeez, you don't have to be serious about everything. You're the one who asked what would happen, and that is what would happen. It would hurt the fishes. Shiloh, I like bubble baths at home. They're a lot of fun. I couldn't have bubble baths as a kid. My skin was too sensitive. Trauma. Just trauma. I got no bubble baths as a kid. Me too. Bubble baths are so luxurious. You've never heard Lizzie use that word before? Jeez, good. Mommy loves to have bubbles in her bath. She turns off the lights and has candles, and I'm gonna do that next time. Aw. Hey, when's your mom gonna pick you up anyway? Oh, I thought she was saying that to Cove, and I was like, damn. Not for a while. She's busy. No bubbles bath? Yeah. My brothers all got to have bubble baths. I got baths with water. I just had a lot of toys then. She's busy. What about your dad? How come you never talk about him? Nobody does. Oh! Stepping on the landmine. Don't you... No, you're not supposed to ask something like that. Lizzie, he is 8. And to be fair, no one mentioned it. Wouldn't somebody want to talk about something they're talked about? You kept your eyes on the ground, watching your toes get swallowed by the waves. Even if Shiloh never seemed upset when the topic came up, it made you feel awkward for just having both your moms. It's okay. I'm like Lizzie and Sophia. I don't have a dad. I don't have 2 moms. I just have one. She's really great. Oh, sorry. I only have one now, too. My mom isn't here. She's back home. It's just my dad with... It's just my dad and me. Aw. Okay, that did appear. I don't know how to turn off those notifications, so lovely. I never had a dad or anything, so don't feel bad. It's just sad that your mom's gone. Cove nodded. You joked about Shiloh's mom getting together with Cove's dad. Even if they're all different, our parents are good in their own ways. You didn't say anything. I could, but I really shouldn't. Vincent wants Cove's dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cove couldn't muster a response. Oh. I forgot that he doesn't really like his dad. You don't think he truly disagrees, though. The silence broke with a splash as Lizzie kicked in your direction. Cold water and sodden sand splashed against your legs. Lizzie giggled, foot still outstretched from the kick. Cove joined, striking the incoming waves to make splash of its own, and Shiloh scurried out of Cove's spray zone with a grin. You ran for it, or you retaliated? Retaliation! You used your foot to smack the water pooling around you, sending an arc of sea foam flying at your sister. Onto your sister. You laughed as she sputtered. Hi, Grim! I'm good, how are you? She sputtered, some of the salty seawater having landed on her mouth. She spat it out. Chewy! Yuck! Lizzie chased you, intent on revenge. Oof. Sorry, I'm still have a shake that I'm finishing. Whee! Shift. You dashed up and down the coast, taking in turns to be the predator and the prey, as well as joining forces to take down Shiloh or Cove. Alliances were silently forged and wordlessly broken. I'm not a flamingo here. Flag. Everything was fair game in war. Shiloh briefly explained and was drowned out by the biggest splash yet, caused by him falling face first into the ground. It would have been bad enough without the waves that followed, cascaded over his prone body. Oof. Yeah, I'm Cookie. Shiloh sat up, shaking his head like a dog coming in from the rain, as you all hurried over to check on him. His hair was plastered to his head, his soaked clothes clung. If there was any part of him that was still dry, you couldn't see it. It was crazy. Are you okay? Oh no, he's trying to eat me! Run! I don't have any emotes to splash you with. What? I'm not Caro. I don't have extra body parts. My cookie, that's my cookie child. Yeah, my foot got stuck and I fell over.
You Dumbo.
Way to go, Shiloh, you Dumbo. You offered him some help up. You let him get up by himself. You offered some help. Shiloh didn't take your outstretched hands. After a moment, you dropped it. What a bitch. Lizzie was too busy snickering to notice and held out her hand to Shiloh, too. He reached over and took it. This bitch. After the day we had together. Alright. Cool. He reached over and took it. Slowly, he started to pull himself up from the ground. He had slipped on slick sand, dragging him and Lizzie down, just in time for another wave to hit. The water rolled over them.
Sorry.
They fucking deserved it. Take that, Shiloh. Instant karma. What are the odds of that happening twice in a row? They thought they must be low, but there was no way Shiloh would do something like that on purpose and then pretend it was an accident, especially not to Lizzie, but probably to me. I will taste all cookies, no bites. He's going to lick me. Run away. No. Even if your relationship with Shiloh felt unclear, he did at least like her a lot. Lizzie was his favorite, right? Smiling boldly, Lizzie extracted herself from the ground, wiping a streak of sand from her cheek. I don't know. Maybe just the hood. Just my coat. Not me. She didn't intend to let this embarrass her. Looks good. Shiloh got up again as well, this time without incident. He still looked like a drowned puppy. Oh. But that didn't stop Co from laughing at the two of them. With that, it was time to call it a day. The four of you made the journey back home, leaving a trail of wet footprints and sand in your wake. Damp clothes may have weighed down some of the group, but your spirits were high. Ah! Where is it? Oh. Oh, we're... Your arms swung side to side as the cool breeze flown past you. Oh, I should probably put that. I said the hood! Oh! It's Mom and Mommy! Oh, and so is Mr. Holton. Your moms were outside chatting to Cove's dad. We're back! Your mom's faces fell as they took the sight of you all in, ranging from messy to soak.
Now,
Elizabeth? Is that all you have to say for yourself? You brought half the beach back with you. They certainly did. What's Marigold going to do when she comes to get Shiloh? Is that how you want him to be for the long drive home? Cold and filthy? Oh, she knows. Lizzie's expression turned sulky over the scolding. Being the oldest could be fun, but also meant she was the first to get in trouble when something went wrong. Oof. Mr. Holton, on the other hand, chuckled as he ruffled Cove's matted hair. Hot Dad! You've been out making memories, bucko. I'm glad that you had a good time with your friends. Cove used his slightly moist cast arm to push off his dad off. Mr. Holton's eyes widened when he noticed that even that had gotten wet. And now he was worried too. I think they could have found a less risky way to spend time. And had just as much fun. Oof, the cast was a little wet. Oh no. That might be right, kids. What can you do? Oh, that might be right. Kids, what can you do? Come on, Cove, let's get you cleaned up and dried off. We wouldn't want that cast to have to be reset. Cove winced at thought.
Okay.
That a boy. Mr. Holton casually bent down and plucked Cove up off the ground, ultimately holding Cove against his chest. Sand was already transferred from Cove onto him, but that didn't seem to bother Mr. Holton. Cove protested being carried, but only got a reassuring pat on the back for his troubles.
Take care.
Good night, Cove. Thank you for the talk, Cliff. Night, Layton family, and Shiloh too. Resigned to his fate, Cove twisted his body in his dad's arm in order to turn around and wave goodbye. Smiling, he waved back. Good night.
Fine.
Well, we better go do what we can to fix you guys up too. Come on, everyone, inside. I want you to march straight to the downstairs bathroom. My cookie.
Ugh.
Yes, Mom. Park. Not the hair. If you're gonna eat anyone's hair, you might as well eat Kaylo's. She has a lot of it. Okay, Lizzie's mom. Don't worry about stopping to wipe your feet on the mat this time. That won't do too much tonight. Starts to numb. Sitting on an old beach towel your mommy had found, you waited in the hall until you were less sandy you weren't allowed to go to your room or walk around the house. What's this? Oh no. Now there's a war in my chat. But you did get to eat a sandwich for dinner, and it felt like an indoor picnic. No, you couldn't. It had been decided that Shiloh would wash first and borrow some of your clothes. Why my clothes? What clothes are we putting them in? He had already finished and packed away in his mom's car. Miss Fields had come to collect him a little while ago. It was a bit of a funny experience seeing him without the hat on for once. Aw, I wanted to see him without the hat. Lizzie, being more soaked than you, got to get in the tub next. It wasn't a bubble bath as she had hoped. This was a no fun allowed clean up session, at least that's what she had claimed. Girl, can I eat flamingo or words edible right? Oh, I remember that. Just getting turns with like all my siblings. Like my brother's hair, like my mom would hair dry our hairs, and my brothers would go first since their hairs were shorter. And so they would get done first, and then there would just be me. with my hair. Not much longer, it would be your turn. When the bath was done, you'd have to go right to bed. After a day like this, though, you were glad that there weren't going to be any further events. Drifting off to sleep sounded like a great idea. Ah, yes, sleeping. Alright. There's one. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger, let his toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Fireflies.
Alright!
Alright. Tonight we're gonna catch fireflies. You mean lightning bugs? At this blunt declaration from your sister, you look up from your macaroni and cheese. Ew! Why am I eating that? I kind of just want to keep calling them lightning bugs. Fireflies were a familiar sight over the summer, and come out on warm nights to dance through the sky. Sorry, still drinking my shake. Oh. Tonight was particularly balmy. You knew that there were bound to be tons of them around. What I like about it is that they have these little specks, which I think they're dust. Or they're fruit flies. Or gnats. Whatever. Where you? Oh, you are? Are you? Yeah? You started to eat faster? You looked over to your mom's, you pushed your food around on your plate. Does Caro even have a lawn? Or does she just live in her laboratory? Look over to your mom's. They hadn't answered for sure yet, but if that's what Lizzie said you do, that's probably what you would end up doing. Sure. I can stick a flamingo in my lawn. He's a real flamingo and then he just changes. He just hops around to other people's lawns for a bit and then moves on. There you go. There you go, Angel. There's your lore. He's the flamingo ornament. Lizzie was an expert at getting her way, and having mastering the art of it by the time she could talk. Oh, Shiloh's back. That's a good idea, Lizzie. Can we, Miss Layton? It does now. Shiloh tapped his fork against the table excitedly. His face lit up as he looked at Lizzie. Oh, his word is long. Okay, moved. Or should say lawn. Oh my gosh. It was unusual for Shiloh to still be there. Like always, his mom had to bring him over early in the morning before her job started. But normally she would have picked him up by now. She had called before dinner to let your moms know that she will be late. You didn't hear why, but probably more work things. You thought maybe getting to hang out with Shiloh for longer made Lucy want to keep running around outside. Actually, I can't even remember how Kara refers to you. Staying at home and watching TV was never an option for her with guests over. That's why you were pretty sure she'd get your mom to agree.
Well,
It's already so dark out there. Lucy gave Mom the best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning her mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited there for their response.
there.
Let them go. Nights like this don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look, and then Mom eventually sighed and nodded back. Yes! Fine. Just make sure you stay on the hill behind the house with all the poppies, okay? Mom, that's where most of them are. I feel like she would have like this Valley Girl accent at this point. The idea had only just been planted in your head, but you already could just picture all the glowing lights spread out in front of you, like fairies from a bedtime story Mommy reads sometimes. Lucy and Shiloh started digging into their food, and it soon became a race to see who could finish their dinner first.
Isn't that great?
Aren't you excited to go outside and play? You gave a non-communal shrug? Oh yeah, the eye. Who told you that, girl? Oh my god. Sophia's just mad cause I catch the most. Lizzie boasted proudly, her mouth full of food, and Mom gave her a stern look. Elizabeth? A knock on the door interrupted Mom before she could no doubtly scold your sister. I hate that everyone mentions it. I'll get it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran over to the door, pulling it open without even looking out the window to see who it was.
Huh?
You shifted in your seat, trying to get a glimpse of the unexpected guest. It's baby boy. Good evening, Cove. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you could manage to see past Shiloh's floppy hat. It was taken. Aww. I think that was half the reason why my name went from being in English to being in German years ago, is because someone took my name. And I was like, you know what? At the time, like, my brother still lived here, and he's fluent in German. It was just like, yeah, into all German things, and then I was like, hey, I'll flip, because I copied my brother all the time. And now I've just stuck with it. What does your name mean? Oh, it's literally just the Time Wolf. My Twitter was like that for a while before I full-blown changed it just to match my Twitch, because the one person I would always watch stream, I would like her stuff, and she's always like, "Who's the Time Wolf?" And I was like, well, might as well just change it. Right back. Oh, Cove! You're here, hi! Oh god, I'm gonna cough again. There were a million things you thought, that you wanted to tell him about. Lizzie, Homer, and the baseball game earlier in the day, your first successful cartwheel. But most importantly, you wanted to ask if he could come catch the Firefly catching with you all. You saw him direct a smile to you and returned it with an eager wave. Oh yeah, I just have my cough still from my cold. Then for a few seconds Cove said nothing. He only stood there looking up at your mommy with a face almost like he's considering turning around and leaving. Nah, I'm choking on my cake shake. My dad told me to drop this off, 'cause I guess he borrowed it from you. Cove took out a familiar screwdriver out of his large side pocket. Eyes now dropped to the floor. We left ours back home when we moved. Great, thanks, bye.
Thank you.
Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie crossed her arms, lifted her chin. Cove shrugged, and Mom stood up from the table too. But wait, you had a butler? What? I'll give your dad a call to let him know that you got here alright. They're literally across the road to scream. Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mommy closed the door behind him. You mentioned a German-speaking butler. Brother. I have a brother. You're fine. That would be so funny though. Fully inside. Okay, hi. Read that. Hi, Cove. It said me to butler school. Shiloh gave Cove a friendly smile while waving by holding up his hands and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. Cove, are you gonna go catch fireflies with us? You could come outside with us if you wanted to. You weren't sure of what to say. Bitch, I'm asking the cute guy to come with us. You could see Lizzie eyeing you for mentioning the excursion to an outsider, but she gotten over it. You crossed your fingers behind your head, looking at Cove, hoping he would say yes, and you could spend more time with him. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. I've never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before now. The Fireflies weren't out when he first moved in. There must have not been anywhere he used to live. We can't go until after dinner. After she pointed this out, Lizzie walked back to the table and took the seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. Since this was very true, you decided to finish up your own stuff as well. Cove stepped closer, eyeing what was on the menu for your family's meal. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What did you have? I would be a good maid. Take that. Oh god, it's maids versus butlers. Eggs. Eggs. Just eggs. It sounds like what I do for breakfast. I'm a butler. It's always the killer. Caro can contest. I would literally, all I would do was just eat eggs in the morning. While she made her chicken nuggets and broccoli. That are your omelets. Nothing. Caro would just like switch everything up, and then there was just me who would just be eating eggs every single time, pissing off trash can. Zero's cereal. Omelette. The clipping one-word answers seeming to discourage Shiloh from asking any more questions. His eyes slowly wandered back to the last scraps of food on his plate. Especially your sausages? That you would just eat out of the can. If for some reason she had a problem with it, I was just like, okay. Nope, read that. Her phone call with Cove's dad must have ended because your mom came back into the room.
Okay.
Cove, your dad said you can stay a little while if you like, but he's gonna come get you before too much later. Sure.
Fun.
This will be so nice. As you polished off your meal, you hoped it would be too. The three of you all finished eating shortly after, and Lizzie led the way outside. Remember, don't stray far. It's fine, Mom. Cove trailed so closely after Shiloh. Trailed so closely after Lizzie, he nearly stepped on her heels. And Cove hesitant at the door. Coming. After a moment, he did.
Bye.
Bye, children. The two of you were a good 10 or 15 feet behind Lizzie and Shiloh. By the time you walked outside, you pushed the door shut behind you, watching their figures get further and further away.
Hurry up!
Dinner, then dinner after. What are you talking about? That's a midnight snack. Oh, itchy nose. You're so slow. We don't have all night. I just stopped saying the name at this point. So, it's a midnight snack. I only eat dessert. Technically, I'm up from midnight, so... Well, Grim, you have made it to almost 9. Congrats! I only eat cookies. Oh no. It's a cookie monster! Run! You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did say that earlier. Sorry. Moment. But paused when you saw Cove still walking at a relaxed pace. Are you not coming? You tugged him along, you walked with him, you waved him in a hurry, you ran off. I'm not leaving this cute boy behind. I'm walking with him. If he doesn't want to run, then I'm not going to run. You fall behind, tossing him a smile. Don't worry, you're going to love it. He glanced over to you, giving you a slow nod with a strange look on his face. What is it? Nothing. Oh, look at his little blush. Oh, look. They're nuts. They're all over the place. By the time the two of you reached the hill, Lizzie had already climbed to the top. Shiloh was spinning in circles somewhere around the middle. Blinking and winking lights floated like buoys on the waves. One drifting close enough for you to see the firefly at the center of the glow. You looked at Cove, exciting to see his reaction. He looked as he was in trance.
Wow.
Shiloh took a moment to come over and welcome both of you to the hill. Hi guys, it's really great out, huh? See how many they are there? Jeez, can't read. Yeah. A firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's green sea green head. Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You and Shiloh couldn't help but giggle. You quietly looked on, and he shooed the bug away. I guess giggle. You covered your mouth with a hand, and the sound escaped you, and Cove looked at you in confusion. What?
Oh.
Oh look, Lizzie has one. That's amazing. Shiloh ran to the highest point of the hill, making sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze to the dozen of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. You had a bandage on your thumb, and you tried to be cautious because of that. You had a bandage on your palm, and you tried to be cautious of that. You had 2 bandages on your hand, and you tried to be cautious of that. Why do I have so many bandages on my hand? You were good enough. You were good about not getting cuts or scratches, and you weren't too worried about that. I get scratches all the time. I didn't care about them. Spotting one close by, you approached it with assassin-like stealth. This is Skyrim, guys. Crouching down, you made sure to see yourself to seem less like a threat. Slowly dragging one foot in front of the other, you crept up towards its arms outstretched. You closed your palm around the little glowing orb. Careful not to crush it, the firefly lands on your palm. Almost docile. You could stare down at your prize in delight. Its little, tiny legs tickled your skin, and you giggled at the sensation. Cove kept up with his own target, but as he tried to grab it, his pink cast waved awkwardly through the air, foiling his efforts to clap his hands around the firefly. Cove watched it vanish into thin air with a dissatisfied expression on his face.
Well, if that's the case, it was rather foolish for you to venture here, wouldn't you say?
Thanks for the host, Grim. You encouraged him to try again. You told him about the firefly you had. You made a joke about what happened. You did things on your own. I guess try to encourage him to try again. You will get the next one. Did you catch one? You nodded, and Cove gave up his hunt for the moment, coming closer and peering at the insect crawling around your palm. Aw, thanks! Oh, and thanks for the, liking my alerts. I love them too. Yeah, I didn't see any when we went to the store. Caro, if you ever visit, we can find them. Or you can look for them there in the Philippines. You nodded, give up his hunt, coming closer and peering at the insect crawling across your palm. You held out your hand as he leaned closer, eyes widened a tad behind his glasses. Cove remained hypnotized by the little bug as he inched his hand closer to yours. Ultimately, he settled his fingers lightly over the top of the ones you were holding open. It tinkled. You stayed still and you pulled your hand back. You stayed very still. I try not to eat while I work, but I do have a cake shake, so I'm drinking that. Well, your Evil Dead ones are good too. Mine are just from Professor Layton. Last thing you wanted was to accidentally scare the shining treasure off. Excuse me, these are not kids' hands. These are like adults. Tiny hand, tiny hand. I don't know what reference to. Don't worry, a lot of people don't. It's a DS puzzle game. Caro has kids' hands. What I want to do is kind of get like a capture card for like my DS and play my Professor Layton games. Caro, is this true? Do you have body parts of children? Firefly noticed the new connection. Crawling up on Cove's hand, he quietly gasped. Or switch if they release it there. I think that they only have the daughter of Professor Layton on the Switch. It worked! Yeah, you got one. Cove's lips turned up into a slow smile, his eyes shining brighter than the bug. I have no gremlin children, I don't have to. Thanks. Your eyes and his locked together while still holding his hands. Oh, gremlin child, thank you very much. Oh, he's so cute. He suddenly pulled away. Startled by the extreme motion, the tiny light disappeared before you could even blink. Your Firefly was gone.
Sorry.
You scolded him, you forgave him, you teared up. It's a Firefly. You forgave him. It's okay, I couldn't keep it forever.
You're right.
Bugs have to stay outside. Let's get another one. You decide to collect more, you decide to sit in the grass and watch. Dude, go collect more. And we can work together. His face broke out into a wide grin. We'll get a punch. With the renewed vigor, you ran out into the hill. You're not sure of how much time passed until while you were in the thick of it. All you could focus on was the adventure at hand. No critter was safe from your grasp. At first you tried to keep a tally of how many you had caught, but once the number grew higher than 10, you had no more fingers to count, left to count with. It is true, I did call you Angel earlier. You were having a time of your life, racing up and down the hill with the crash of the ocean and the sound of everyone's laughter echoing in the background. Sophia, this way. You followed the sound of Cove's voice to the top of the hill, watching as he stretched his arms in front of him, reaching his fingers, only narrowly missing his target. Cove and you took turns trying to scare the Fireflies in a direction of the other. You showed him some techniques that you learned, like how to cup your hands correctly, and he listened attentively before trying it himself. There were a few times that you almost ran into each other, giggling as you dove to the side at the last moment. Luckily, disaster was avoided each time. Wolfie's flame. Oh, I read that. Overall was a huge success, both of you catching multiple Fireflies each. Eventually the Fireflies began to thin out and your energy started to lapse. You decided it was time to call off the hunt. Cove didn't complain. He breathed in heavily, his eyes His face seemed really flushed. Oh, no. That was fun. A lot of fun. You smiled at him broadly, happy that he had enjoyed the activity. Yeah, it was.
Come on!
Sophia, Cove, get up here. We're gonna have a race. The shouting caught you off guard, and it had been a while since you heard from Lizzie or Shiloh. You glanced over to see them both standing at the top of the hill again, Lizzie beckoning you with a quick hand gesture. Ooh. New view. If she was like that, you knew there wasn't much room for disagreement. Up the incline you went. From the corner of your eye, you saw Cove was coming as well. He didn't care for Lizzie a lot, so you thought he might be intrigued just by the idea of a race. Hi.
Cove.
Hi, Cove. You can't roll down the hill. You could hurt your arm again. You'll be the referee for the rest of us. As Lizzie pointed this out, Cove froze in place. Oh, it was that kind of race. He frowned down at his cast. That was the second time it got in the way tonight. What? Yeah. You will watch and see who gets to the bottom first. That's important, got it?
I guess.
The cast was sturdy. If he was careful, he could have done it. Lizzie might have just been looking for a reason to make someone else the referee. But it was already decided. I'll stay with him.
Really?
Why? You don't have to. It's okay. I want to watch. You moved beside him on the top of the hill, even though Lizzie eyed you and made a face. That's not how races work. We only need one referee. You shrugged your shoulders and you refused to budge. Lizzie let out a huff before throwing her hands in the air. Fine, I'll be the winner whether you join or not. Lizzie moved to lay down and Shiloh did the same. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point. You stood next to him. God. Count down. Cove stood up a little straighter, and it seems like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously. 3, 2, 1, go! Lizzie and Shiloh took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at high speed towards the bottom of the hill. You and Cove leaned forward to watch them go, eyes peeled for which of the two would reach the bottom first. They were both neck and neck, and Oof. Until about halfway down the hill, Lizzie started to veer off to the side, giving Shiloh a huge advantage. She obviously hadn't noticed a thing. As soon as Shiloh reached the bottom of the hill, he jumped up excitedly, threw his hands in the air. Yeah, just gonna pass away one of these days. I won! Almost immediately he fell back into the grass, still dizzy from rolling down the hill. I miss just doing roll down race. There's a hill like right next to my house and we used to do it all the time. I would always be the person who started rolling to the side. Almost immediately oh, I read that. Lizzie stomped out of the bush that she ended up in. Sputtering angry, brushing leaves from the front of her dress. Not bad, you got lucky. Let's do it again and see who wins for real. Kids, it's time to come in. No! You snickered, feeling grateful that you hadn't been part of the mini debacle. You caught Cove's eyes and saw that he was doing the same. It had gotten late and was beginning to feel a bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills. But the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home together side by side down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening with each person trying to prove that they caught the most fireflies. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter much anyway. All that mattered was that you had a good time, which, judging by the smiles on everyone's face, you did. Cute. Alright, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger of eyes, so if he howls, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, don't pat the cookies. They bite. We're doing Runaway. It was early, and you were on your way to the playground. Lizzie had planned on joining you there later. You weren't sure what she was busy with right now. Older kid stuff, you imagined. That was okay. What was forefront in your mind was if Cove might be free to come to. Look at this little runaway. As you walked the familiar street wondering how you might find your neighbor, he appeared right in front of you, almost as if he was a mind reader. Hi, Cove. Can you come play to the playground with me?
No.
Sorry. Cove looked strangely serious. It had been an even bigger deal than whatever mysterious thing Lizzie was doing. I'm leaving. What? Where? He shifted. Your gaze was drawn to the backpack slung over his shoulders. Yep, we just ate all of his fingers. Num num num. Cove liked to stuff things in his pockets from what you've seen, but people sometimes carry bags with them. It hadn't been very attention-worthy until now. The pack was decorated with cartoon waves and dolphins. He gripped one of the straps tightly with his good hand. I just wanted you to know. Cove didn't glance up and meet your eyes, you started to grow worried. I don't get it, but where are you going? Oh, can I come too? Or I'll come with you. Okay, you could be. I think I'm supposed to be a whipped cream cookie? I think that's what Kalo had me as. Can I come too? He looked up at that. You hoped he would agree, but instead he shook his head. That's the cookie with the Hershey in the middle. The butter? Or the peanut butter kiss cookies? I'll come back though, sometimes. I don't know when, but we can do stuff then. He directed a fragile smile your way. Without another word, Cove turned on his heel and started to walk away. Bye. See you when you're done. Wait. Couldn't say anything else to him. Wait. No. I want to come with. He kept going. His focus wasn't on you anymore. What was that about? You watched as his back grew smaller and smaller, and you realized that you were standing in the middle of the sidewalk. You thought about your earlier plan of playing in the park, and suddenly it didn't seem as fun anymore. Not without Cove. Oh no, how could he? How could he cheat? But it wasn't like you could force him to play with you. He had things to do. You stayed there? You could play at the park some other time. It wasn't like it was going anywhere. You couldn't bring yourself to leave like that. You didn't move from the spot, you just continued to look on quietly. It didn't take you long to realize that he was just going up the street, and you were positive that there was nothing good up there. Not the park, or the beach, or the store street, or his house or anything. He was new and he might not know what you did, but you jogged down the street to catch up to him. You slowed down once you reached his side. He glanced at you from the corner of his eye and frowned. Go away. I just wanted to say you were going the wrong way. There aren't any places the way you're going. His mouth twisted further. He didn't appreciate your warning. I'm still going. Why? What are you doing? Walking. Why can't I come with you if you're just walking? Cove let out a deep sigh. You got a feeling he was starting to get mad at you. I told you, I'm leaving. I'm going to be gone for a while. You stopped pushing and let him go. Or, I still want to go with you. You can't. Why not? Cove came to a sudden stop and you almost kept walking ahead of him because you weren't expecting it. My dad doesn't know, and if you come with me, you get in trouble when he finds out. You felt a knot start to grow in your stomach. You're not supposed to be leaving? His expression was grim. He shook his head. Dad isn't home. I left him a letter so he wouldn't get confused when he gets back. But you can't tell anyone about this, okay? You gotta pretend you never saw me. Okay, bye. I won't tell anyone where you're going. I still want to go. I don't care if I get in trouble. I have to tell someone. Hell no, we're going. An adventure. Don't do it all by yourself. Cove's hard expression waved. You could tell that he hadn't expected you to say that.
Really?
You don't think it's a bad idea or something? No, it's like we're going on an adventure. It's not a big deal, right? We're gonna have fun. I don't know. But if you're doing it anyways, I should too. It might be a bad idea, but... No, we're going on an adventure. An adventure. His lips curled into a smile.
Okay.
You can come. You grinned, pleased that he had given in so easily. You thought it might take longer since he was so set on going alone. You turned a bit in the middle of the sidewalk, so did Cove when he saw. You pointed over your shoulder with the thumb. Let's go to my house first so I can get my backpack. We can't. Sorry. If we're going to be away, I better take some stuff. It's not that. I don't want our parents to catch us. Your moms could think it's weird that we have bags. They might ask. We don't have a lot of time anyway. He motioned to his backpack. He patted it with his hands. The front bulged out slightly.
It's okay.
Don't worry, I've packed snacks. It will be alright. You were taken back. There was going to be food to eat. He had thought of everything. Cool, then let's go. Cove smiled. He seems to be in better spirits than when you first ran into him. You were glad that he wasn't always this upbeat, and that was fine. Though when otherwise he wouldn't be Cove, and you liked seeing him smile. Cove took the first steps and you mirrored him. As one, both of you ran up the street. You were off to places unknown. You ran through the first few neighborhoods like that, your feet pounding on the concrete. Whenever one of you got tired, you would take a break for a minute. The moment that there was a sound, you would be off again, in case someone new might realize what you're up to. Because of how cautious you were, the two of you didn't run into anyone, even the other kids enjoying the summer. It was like you were spies or superheroes with secret identities to protect, on the run from bad guys. As exciting as it was, you were still glad that when you got the opportunity to take a proper break. Cove waved for you to stop once you got out of the residential district. The houses disappeared and broad storefronts take their place. You were all the way in the business part of town. This was the first time you had come here on foot. Before, one of your moms always drove you to this place in their car. Cove leaned against a nearby tree, wiping off sweat off of his forehead. That time was... That's what they all say. You had braced your hands on your knees, breathing hard. You looked over at the road ahead. We're so far. A strange expression flickered across Cove's face at your words before he nodded and you spoke again, still huffing. My mom's bring me and Lizzie here. We're shopping. Yeah. I've never been here before, not without Dad. He looks pleased by that. He's like, screw you, Dad. We're doing good and it's not even nighttime. Don't believe everything the long Arvin says. You felt good too, and you were starting to get nervous. Guess might as well not dampen the spirits. Why are you calling me that now too? Because I was early. You didn't. You didn't even think Lizzie had been this far by herself. Sure, you were here with Cove, so you weren't alone, but still, this was great. Cove slipped off his backpack and unzipped it. You watched curiously as he stuffed a hand in, searching for something. To your delight, he pulled out 2 juice boxes and offered you. Here. Thank you. I was getting thirsty. The 2 of you took a moment to unwrap the straws and poke them into the special circle part of the box. The juice was warm, but still good. You sighed contently after the first sip. Your throat was beginning to ache of how dry it got. It really had been a while since all of this started. As you took another sip of your juice, your gaze drifted to Cove's bag. He hadn't closed it. I still need to put up a lurk command. But have a nice lurk and hopefully you're able to sleep, Grim. What else is in there? There are a few juice boxes left. He peered inside, beginning to list off all the items he spotted. Smells like university. He peered inside and beginning. Oh, yeah. They don't have a phone command either. I had gotten snacks from the kitchen too: chips, muffins, bananas, and candy. It's getting worse. There was already a lot, but he kept excavating more. I also took a couple of clothes, a flashlight, a first aid kit from my dad's bathroom, and a blanket. Good while you're at. Oh, and some money my dad gave me a while ago I haven't spent yet. Oh, time. I have no thoughts. This is... Taro should be the bot. Your mouth made a small O halfway through his lengthy list. You brought a lot of stuff. I wouldn't have thought to grab a flashlight or a first aid kit. I told you I was going away. You didn't know what to say to that. The little smile Cove had been wearing earlier was gone now, like it's never been there in the first place. You watched as he zipped up his backpack and slipped it on. He started walking without a single glance over at you, though he did still take small unhappy sips from his juice. For some time, the two of you went forward in complete silence. There was more ground you covered, and the more serious Cove seemed to become. He hadn't looked at you or anything in a while. He had just taken your empty boxes from you and stowed away in his bag. That was it. You knew that there was more to this. For him, it wasn't a fun adventure. It never was. The sun dislodged itself from its place in the sky, dipping lower and lower. The street lamps came on. It was as if they were anticipating nightfall. You tried to convince him to go back, or you kept walking. I'm just gonna keep walking. Even if it was late, you weren't ready to turn back, and neither was Cove. The two of you continued to trudge past the storefront, silence falling over you again. You had no idea how to break it, or even if you wanted to. People said this was a really tiny town, but to you it felt absolutely gigantic. Eventually the business part of town ended too. There was no sidewalk anymore, and only long expanses of road. You walked on the grass instead. Not even that was enough to stop him. Onward was your only option. Your journey stubbornly continued. The hunch that you had about Cove's possible destination soon became certain. There was only one way out of town after all. Here we go. We got to the edge of town. Your feet hurt. You were tired. The two of you didn't have any parents with you, but somehow you've reached the very edge of Sunset Bird. That was what the sign told you. You had lived in Sunset Bird forever. It seemed like a very rare occasion that you would see this sign. Mostly everything in your life happened inside the city limits. The endless road ahead seemed scary in a way. It paralyzed you. You glanced at Cove. You had made it here just before nightfall. But now what? Outside of the town there was nothing. How would he get to where he wanted to go? Cove, however, didn't falter. He kept walking. As he neared the sign, he finally stopped, and that was a relief. He took off his backpack and sat down, crossing his legs beneath him. You lowered yourself beside the boy as he zipped his backpack open and rummaged through it again. What snack do you want? You were almost taken back by his voice. It had been a while since you last heard it. Pressing your lips together, you recall the snacks that he had listed off earlier. I want chips, a muffin, banana, candy, or I'm not that hungry. Banana. He pulled a banana out for you and a muffin for him. As passing just for the manager, I can probably boot up Hustle Cat and play that. Pulled out a banana. After passing you your food, he took a big bite out of the top of his muffin. You peered over at your friend. That's what it was called at school. Oh my god. Peered over at your friend as he stared at the path still ahead with a sullen expression. You turned away. The sun had set some time after the both of you finished eating, and now it was dark apparent from the faint moonlight. You watched as Cove grabbed his flashlight from his bag. What are we gonna do? Sleep out here?
I guess.
He was speaking defensively again. Cove flicked the flashlight on. A beam had cut through the darkness, weakly illuminating the area you sat at. You pulled your knees up to your chest, wrapping your arms around them. You weren't cold. Summer nights still sort of warm. You just felt like it. Is it okay if I ask something? Cove's focus didn't waver from the road, but he nodded. Why do you want to leave Sunset Bird so bad? At first, Cove was quiet. You started to think that he wouldn't say anything. Then he spoke. My mom called today to check up on me and stuff. She asked what Sunset Bird was like and how I was doing. It was okay. But when I asked if she would come here, Mom said that she couldn't. I can't go back either. Not right now. It seems she has to move somewhere first. Cove glared at the ground. His voice cracked as he continued.
It's not fair.
Why can't I even see her anymore? He used his uncast arm to rub both of his eyes. I'm gonna go myself. I don't need anyone to take me. How are you gonna get to your mom's place? That's such a bad idea. This was all just too much and you started to cry. Do you know the directions to your old house? You're just being selfish. Do you know the directions? He just wanted to see his mom. Maybe you would have had an idea to run away too, if you were a Cove. But that doesn't mean it will work. She's not there. They both left it. She's staying with someone else until she moves somewhere else. Where's her friend's house? Cove was silent for a moment. You poked a hole in his perfect plan. Then he shook his head, like he was trying to clear it. When he spoke some more, it was mostly to himself. If I don't go to see Mom, then shoes. Fresh tears glistened in Cove's red rim eyes. He stubbornly tried to blink them away, but they slipped down his cheeks. Your heart twisted in your chest. No matter what, you hated seeing him cry. What will happen? My mom doesn't call that much. I haven't seen her in so long. Cove hiccuped, wiping his face with the back of his arm. His glasses had gotten shoved up awkwardly as a result. If I don't go, she'll be gone. She'll forget about me. She wouldn't do that. How do you know? 'Cause no one could forget you, Cove. Little 8-year-old me is putting on the moves at a sad time. His cheeks pinked, flushed, and he broke eye contact and looked down. Cove sniffled. He seemed conflicted. I'm not sure if that's right. You were at a standstill. Everything will be okay if we just go home. We can't stay here forever, and we can't go out there. We gotta go back. Then we'll stay out here. I'm not going back. I think this is the right answer. Sorry. Cove's brows furrowed. A scowl had appeared on his lips. He turned away from you and you stared at his back. You couldn't just stop. Please, Cove. After a few minutes of solemn silence, Cove twisted back around. He wouldn't look at you in the eye. Okay, let's go. I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want something bad to happen. He was doing this for you? It gave you a warm feeling inside, even if you could wish that he didn't want to leave in the first place. And that was that. Together you walked from the exit sign. Your feet hurt a lot by this point. You were so tired that but you convinced him. You were bringing Cove home. And that's what mattered. On the long walk back, it was only thanks to the occasional street lamp and faint moonlight that you could see in the dark night. Did we forget about the damn flashlight? You were content to sticking close together. Sometimes your drowsy walking would cause you to almost bump into each other. The back of your hand brushed against his. You held his hand? You noticed Cove had taken your hand, or you shook your head and tried to walk, or trying to wake yourself up. Shh. Let's just have him take my hand. Everyone wants a bite of me! Hi, Daro. How are you today? Since my brain is slow. Who's biting who? I don't know. I didn't say you could have a bite. Why would I give you a bite? Cove glanced at you sheepishly, feeling happy and smiley at nearly 4 a.m. Oh my gosh. My child's cookie. Daddy Caro is protecting. His fingers curled around your palm and you held it in response. The two of you continued down the street hand in hand. You weren't sure how much time passed. Daddy. All you knew was the one moment you were fighting the drooping of your eyelids while shuffling near Cove on the sidewalk, and the next you were snapped back to attention by a blaring beep of a horn. Cove froze. You whipped around to see a car approaching you. It was difficult to make it out who it was. The headlights were so blinding. Instead of continuing down the road, the car slowed near where you sat. When did we sit down? Shuffled me a cove. Okay. The window rolled down, revealing the face behind the wheel. It was very familiar. Tara's Range. Mom! Oh shit, Mom found us. She shouted back, and not just because there was some distance between you and her. Where have you kids been? I've looked everywhere for you. I was trying to help Cove. She stopped looking at you, instead staring hard straight ahead. Both her hands were gripping the wheel. In turn, Cove gripped your hand tighter. This was hard to face. Guilt ate you up inside.
All right.
Get in. Let's get you two home. That at least made her showing up worthwhile. Your feet were aching like crazy from all the walking you've done today. You yanked open the side door, slipping inside the back seat and then clambering over so Cove had enough room to climb into. He followed in wordlessly, tucking his backpack near his feet. Your mom looked at you and Cove in the rear view mirror. Is it too late to say? I have no idea. What the game is about is literally you growing up with this kid. And you can kind of pick out your kind of decisions of how you want to grow up with him. So you can get together, you can stay friends, or you can just remain acquaintances. Kind of it's up to you, and if you're interested, the game is free. The base game of it. The game is mostly finished too. There's only I think 3 DLCs that are still coming out for it, which one of the DLCs is kind of coming up, which is why I want to kind of finish the game so I can stream when it does come out, because it's the wedding DLC, and the other 2 DLCs are 2 other characters you can date in the game, but they're also working on a second game. Have you done through the Acquaintance? No, I have not done any of the others because I liked him way too much to not marry him and date him. He was too cute. Your mom looked at you and Cove in the rearview mirror. The two of you had us extremely worried. That wasn't a good thing to do, not at all. Shamefaced, both of you nodded as one.
Sorry.
Sorry, Mom. She had softened immediately, not enough to actually let it go, though. You have to apologize to everyone else, too. With that, Mom started up the car again and you were off. For the rest of the car ride, no one said anything. You thought all of you were pretty tired. In fact, you must have dozed off at some point because you were woken up to the sound of the engine stopping. Nah, it's total bullshit. Of course every kid knows you wake up as soon as the last turn onto your street or your house. You magically wake up. When you looked around to get a sense of the surroundings, you realized Cove was leaning his head onto you. He might have been asleep before this, too. The moment your eyes had met, he had turned away. We're back. Oh god, my model freaked out. You yawned and got out of the car. Cove came out after, putting his backpack on again. Mom locked the car door and motioned you two towards the house. She opened the front door and let you in first. Mommy appeared quickly. She must have been waiting nearby, and there was a phone in her hand. It worried you, thinking about who she might have been talking to. The tight line of her shoulders relaxed as soon as she saw you and Cove. Oh, thank goodness, the both of you. You found the both of them. Yes, I did. They were walking down Main Street together. What were you two doing there at this time of the night? Do you have any idea how far that is and how safe? You peeked at Cove. He still looked exhausted. His eyes were puffy, and there were dry tears stuck to his cheeks. I had to see my mom. Sophia didn't want me to go alone. Smash guilt into the mom's boom. Your own moms shared a look. You weren't sure what it meant, but they always did that. You always wonder if they could read each other's minds. Since they were communicating telepathically, you stole a glance around the house. Lizzie wasn't anywhere in sight. Where was she? She must have finished whatever she was doing that morning ages ago. Where's Lizzie? Your sister's in her room, fast asleep, the same way you should have been. She went out earlier to look for you two when she accidentally found that the both of you were missing. She tried to pretend otherwise, but you made her sick with worry. Oh, that was wrong, Mom. Said she checked all the hiding places she could think of and couldn't find you either. You and Cove exchanged remorse glances at that. Mommy noticed the discomfort.
Okay.
You two must be sleepy. You can sit down wherever you like. Mommy smiled warmly and motioned to the living room. Cove looked up at her and lumbered over. You followed closely behind. The living room wasn't far or separated by a wall, so you heard your moms talk softly. He wanted to see his mother. Poor thing.
Well,
that explains it at least. Still, I'm not sure if it excuses it. It was so dangerous to go off into town like that. He's having a hard time right now. You can't expect a child to handle it maturely. True, but it can't be helped. But that's enough of that. We should tell Cliff and the others that he's here before the panic gets out of hand. There could be riots.
Is that alright?
I'll call, then go to the front to tell everyone's still out there. You keep an eye on the kids and make sure they don't take any more trips today. Got it, hon. Cove sat there on the couch, setting his backpack down beside him, staring at his hands. This is so weird. What is? Everyone was looking for me. They all know I try to leave. I kinda had to run away and not come back here this time, so I don't have to see them again. What? I kinda want to try to run away and not come back this time, so I don't have to see them again. Oh. Hey, maybe I should try that. That isn't going to help. They'll forgive you. Please never run away again. That isn't going to help? I guess. You just need to talk to them. They'll forgive you. Forget about it. I don't think they'll forget about it, but maybe you're right. I'm like you're a small child that tried to escape. Did everyone else have some point as they were a kid that tried to run away? Or was that just my family that all of us have done it? We were not as paired as Cove was because all we did was bring toys. Before you could say anything else, the front door opened. Your mom was back with Mr. Holton close behind her, and he made a beeline for the couch to lay his gaze trained on his son.
Cove?
God, are you alright? Strands of his hair had fallen out of his ponytail, his eyes darkened like he had been crying too. Oh god. Replaying this game makes me want to cry because everything that happens later. Cove stared up at his dad, his own eyes wide behind his frame of his glasses. He really hadn't expected it to be such a big deal. I'm okay. Good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. He clasped a hand on his son's shoulder, attempting to smile, but the corner of his lips twitched and spazzed, as if they wanted to wilt into a frown again instead. Cove seemed to have an effect on him. Mr. Holton turned to you, still smiling weakly. I'm so happy you're alright too, Sophia. Then he looked at your mom. Thanks for your help, as always. He laughed pitifully.
I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry for ruining our afternoon with this. I can't apologize enough.
It's okay.
It's no trouble, Cliff, really. It could have been helped in any way. Something was bound to happen sometime. Besides, he wasn't the only one who decided it was a good idea to disappear today. What? Could it be me? Exactly. We're just happy the kids are safe and sound. Not for the first time that day, you recalled your original meeting with Cove. He had run away then, too. Not as far as he had today. I guess he did run away in the beginning when we met him. Cove must have had a similar thought, because he mumbled an apology. Sorry, Dad. I won't leave anymore, promise. Some life seemed to return to Mr. Holton thanks to his promise. This time around, his smile seemed more genuine.
I'm so glad.
Oh, it's a relief to hear. Next time you feel like running off, come to me first, okay? We can talk about it. I'm here for you. Cove nodded. His dad reached out and muzzled his hair playfully. Although he made a face, Cove didn't try to dodge the hand as he usually did. Let's go home, bud. I bet you're tired. I bet you're just as tired as I am. I cried because I was like, wow, is this how a supportive family is supposed to be like? What a wish. Mr. Halton took over carrying Cove's backpack, still grasping a free hand on his son's shoulder when he stood up from the couch. The five of you walked over to the front door so you could see them off. Mr. Halton thanked your moms profusely at least 3 more times before he walked out the door. Cove made to follow. But he stopped, turned to you before stepping through the threshold.
Thanks.
You're welcome. A tiny smile fluttered across his lips, and there and then gone again. Just gone. I'm glad you're okay. You waved him off. Or you hugged him. Hug the bitch. Before he was gone, you reached over to give him a hug goodbye after a hard day. He held you back. You just noticed his eyebrows? His wiggly eyebrows? They're beautiful. He held you back more tightly than you could have anticipated, and he almost squeaked out a noise. I'm glad you're here. Aww. His embrace was tight, but brief. He let go as soon as he said what he wanted to. And with that, Cove left. Mommy closed the door behind them. You were practically dead on your feet at this point. Your fatigue must have been obvious because your mom sent you right to bed with no more discussion. I was watching on the phone. It was dying, so I swapped to the TV. Okay. With no more discussion on what had happened that day. Once your head had hit the pillow, your eyes slipped closed on their own. Your eyelids were so heavy you couldn't even open them again until the next morning. You had woke up much more at ease than you had felt when you were last conscious. It at least almost seemed like a dream. But it definitely wasn't. Your mom's face, when you saw them, assured you of that. After breakfast, you were sat down and your family went over yesterday's events in full. Oh. We were such asses to my mom as kids. Apparently, like, my mom's joke was that we were children of the corn. And one of the things was she got so sick and tired of us that she left the house. Pretty much all she was sitting in the car in the driveway. But here comes out me and my 2 brothers with coats and everything. And she's like, where do you think you guys are going? And we're like, to the neighbor's house. We can't be home alone by ourselves. We're children. And she's like, you little asses, get back inside. Or we had suitcases with our initials stitched on it. And we would fill that up with toys. Or at least my brother did. And started to walk down just the side of the sidewalk to leave. He didn't make it very far. We pretty much didn't leave our cul-de-sac, I guess. If we were allowed, like, we had to say we were going. Yeah, we didn't leave much. I was going on an Indian adventure. Da 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 ba bum. After stretch. Running away must be a cookie thing. I guess. Cookie run. They were none too pleased that you had joined Cove despite knowing that he wanted to leave. As punishment, your mom took away TV privileges for the next few days. No, TV. Liz was annoyed that she couldn't watch her shows with you around, but she adjusted, of course. Whenever you expressed disappointment, your moms reminded you that they weren't punishing you for no reason. Unlike my dad. It was dangerous to go out on your own so late. Without telling anyone, you could have gotten hurt or worse. You could have died! As upset as you were, you understood. Mr. Holton talked to Cove about what happened too. You didn't know what to say exactly, but Mr. Holton forgave Cove immediately. He didn't do anything to punish Cove for running away. He blamed no one but himself for Cove's desire to leave home. You caught your mom discussing it once in hushed tones, frowning at each other. It was pretty serious. There was a word that you hadn't heard before, self-flagellation? Okay. But there wasn't anything that they could do to change Mr. Holton's mind. Your neighbors stopped you and Cove often for the next week or so to express their concern or disappointment of the event. Oh god, we're the talk of the town. Still, as they did always, days continued to pass, and so did the talk about Cove's running away. Things eventually returned to normal as they had to. Summer kept going, and you having experience you shared with Cove. Words. I can do one more for tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why am I counting that one? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the tail. If he promised, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Growing up. Okay. Only halfway through phase 1? Yeah. There's 4 phases. One sweltering summer day, you were in your living room with Cove, listening to the sounds of birds chattering outside the window while you laid across the rug on the floor. Cove's dad had dropped him off earlier, and your moms had left the two of you along with Lucy to play among yourselves. It had been too hot to go outside in the afternoon, according to your mommy. So your sister started to get impatient waiting for her golf classes in the evening. The 3 of you had trouble finding something fun to do. The beach and the playground were off limits, and you felt it was too warm to do anything like playing with your fuzzy toy animals. Then suddenly a light came to Lizzie's big brown eyes, and her smile spread wide across her face. Having an idea gave her a new wave of energy. Since we're stuck inside, we should be adults. They don't play outdoors, anyways. They're always inside telling people that they're too busy to play. Oof.
Why?
Duh.
I said why, because it will be fun, duh. What do they do inside that we don't? Besides use the phone a lot. They're not wrong. I literally am on my phone all the time because I'm just reading. And like the kids want to play with me. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I'm too tired. Excluding a small huff, Lizzie decided to ignore Cove.
What do you think?
What do you do? Or what? Yeah. Cove said it. That doesn't sound like fun. But we can come up with something else. In other words, this is going to be a scenario where you just go, yes, and... Sure. You do? Seriously? Yeah. Hooray! Okay, let me think. What do I want to be? Satisfied that neither you were about to bail on her, Lizzie thought over her options while you watch. After a few seconds, she clapped her hands together and beamed, apparently half settling on something without asking either of you.
Okay.
I'm going to be a professional golfer. Sophia, you and Cove can be a beach volleyball player, a gymnastics, or a tennis player. Why can't we pick anything that we want? Because I had a fun idea, that's why. And we have to play sports as adults? Yep. But there are other kinds of sports too.
Right?
It isn't the same, what do you think? Don't those choices sound super cool? You want to be that, huh? I kind of like those. It really doesn't. It sounds like a blast. Is there anything else we can be? You nodded. Maybe not. Anything else that we can... Lizzie stomped her foot on the ground. Nope. Come on, just decide already. Knowing Lizzie wouldn't let this go anytime soon, you sighed. Cove was not impressed with Lizzie's attitude, though he didn't bother talking anymore about it. You thought over the list of possibilities of beach volleyball, gymnastics, or tennis. Out of all of them, you prefer to play tennis. Because I've actually played tennis. I'm shit at it. You remember Mommy had a couple of old tennis racks laying around somewhere, but you had forgotten where you seen them last. You could check the attic for them, although Lizzie probably wouldn't let you run off and do that, but she had you here. Yes, that was clearly the top option. Okay, I'm gonna be a tennis player.
Alright!
What about you, Cove? Then I'll be a tennis player with it. Aww. Lizzie threw her hands in the air, making an annoying noise. You guys can't be the same thing. That's not how that works. You didn't say that. The rules was picking from the list. You can't keep adding more. Lizzie looked at the both of you and then shook her head, resigned to losing this battle but not the war. Fine, you're both tennis players. But you're on the same team because there's only one. Lizzie's ponytail bobbed when she proudly stretched her arms wide. The Olympic team! What? We're Olympic athletes who are competing in the Olympics. Cove didn't seem all that impressed with the announcement. He made a face and adjusted glasses on his nose. That's really Pacific.
Rude.
That's what makes it fun, anyway. Lizzie marched back and forth in front of both of you, getting lost in her own imagination. I've won all the gold medals and people have been calling me the next Mickey Wright. Who's that? Lizzie stopped on the spot, turned to him, her brown eyes shining with impatience. It doesn't matter if you don't know who she is. It's a golf thing. You guys won medals too. Your team plays silver, and it's more real if we're not all first place. Hey, we can do... silver sucks. I don't want silver. Okay, I'm okay with that. Hey, we can do better than silver. Silver's not bad. Nice. We can do better than silver, or... No. You pouted at Lizzie, unhappy with the decision. He's right.
Sorry.
A lot of people lose at the Olympics. Them's the breaks. Okay. Then you're the one who did, not me. Lizzie looked taken back by Cove's declaration, as though the thought of her losing was completely absurd. No way. It wouldn't make sense. I've already practiced my golf game. She had already took the golf stance to make her point, pretending to swing her club and hit an invisible ball. So what kind of house do you want to live in? Cove hadn't changed his mind about winning, but thinking about where he lived as an adult appealed to him, apparently, because he looked back at Lizzie with some anger fading. I'm gonna leave on the beach. Lizzie made a face at him, pointing out her tongue. It's kind of boring, we already have that. No. It's not like normal houses here on a street. On it, like right on the sand by the water. Just like that, all the tension was back. You hadn't even had a chance to choose where you wanted to live. It's not very fun or smart, Cove. You can't live on a bunch of sand and shells. But I want to, and I will. Cove is like, I'm dying on this bridge. Cove narrowed his eyes at Lizzie, even though she stood a half of a head taller than him. You didn't give out a list of things to pick from this time, so I'm picking that. Why are we even playing pretend if I can't imagine anything?
Jeez.
Well, I'm gonna live in a mansion far away from here, like far away from you. One with an indoor pool and a place where I can practice my award-winning golfing.
It's not fair.
How can you yell at mine when your idea is even more impossible? These kids are just coming for each other's throats, and I'm just sitting here back with like popcorn. Lizzie's face flushed red. Her hands balled into a fist at her sides. It's not impossible, it's better than yours. The disagreement always seems to crop up when the two of them were together. You always felt like you were stuck in the middle. But when it came to the topic at hand, this time you thought you prefer the mansion. Being on the beach was cooler. You agreed with Lizzie. You wanted to agree with Lizzie, but Cove was right. You tried to decide between. Okay. Screw my sister, she's a bitch. I guess I could just say Cove's right. Cove's idea is good. You shouldn't say yours is the only right one. No one asked for your opinion. Oof. Oof. Somehow, you agreeing with him made Cove look nervous as he tried to ignore it by continuing his debate. I'm like literally just like I asked for her. You can swim whenever you want if you live on the beach. We can still swim at any time we want from where we live now. Being a little closer doesn't mean anything, says you. The two of them scowled at each other. You're being so unreasonable. You. She's flushing because she's angry? I don't get what you want. This game doesn't make sense.
Ugh.
It does. You have to be realistic. I said that. But you're not. The two of them you had no idea what to do to make them stop at this point. It seemed like the two of them would keep working each other up as long as they could. Nothing you said so far had kept them from being mad. Thankfully, like a greeting card angel, Mom walked into the room. Lizzie rushed to her, hanging to the hem of her skirt and pointing her tongue out at Cove. Lizzie, Sophia, it's time to get ready to go.
You alright with that?
I'm sorry you had to leave already, Cove. Their mommy said she'll walk you home so you won't be left in the cold. Cove, still glaring at Lizzie, his face flushed with anger. I can go by myself, but...
Bye.
Bye. There was still a harsh edge to the brief farewell, but you knew it wasn't you he was mad at. Without giving Mom a chance to stop him, Cove stood up and stalked out of the room, shoulders drawn tight.
Huh?
Okay. Worried, Mom looked down at the two of you. You two were playing nice with our new friend, weren't you? Heh. Heh. Probably not. I don't think they do. You'll see, like, later on, when you're dealing with your sister, like, how things kind of change. Dude, I'm no liar. But I'm not calling myself a truther either. We were playing pretend and things got intense, and they were like cats and dogs. Your sister jaw dropped, looking betrayed. Betrayed! As Mom put her hands on her rib. Elizabeth. I told you to be kind to him, and he's having a hard time right now. Lizzie's mouth closed back up, replaced with a tiny frown. I know, I tried, but he was...
That's enough.
No, but... We both know you can show someone a great time when you put your mind to it. We're going to apologize to Cove and his dad over the phone when he gets home from work tonight. Lizzie hung her head, dragging a foot across the ground in front of her. Okay. Oof, telling on. Good girl. You caught pieces of Lizzie's sulky to herself about how it was his fault too, but it was over. Whoops, busted. Yep, I had no part of that. Don't worry, this is karma. You guys will see in the next one. Why?
Let's go.
Ah, shit. I didn't read that. Bad. Alright, we better get a move on.
Let's go.
Let's go, kids. Nolami? Where did you leave the car keys? Mom hustled you all out the door, and you noticed during the car ride to golf practice, Lizzie was quieter than usual. She usually would be the first one to request which music to listen to in the car, but she didn't say anything, and your parents noticed she wasn't in the mood to be bothered. They gave her her space, and Mommy just asked you what you'd like to listen to. Hell yeah! You pick your favorite song. It would always made the car ride more fun. Spooky. Oh wow, spooky. Oh wow, ooh. I'm gonna stop trying to figure out how that would be pronounced. You choose the soundtrack to a cool movie you saw a couple months ago. You choose a song you knew Lizzie liked, so maybe it would cheer her up. Okay, we outed our sister so we can... Oh, by the way, check your stream elements if you... when you can. Taro, did you do that? What the fuck? Oh, I can't stop Taro! Thanks! I'm surprised it didn't show up. Oops. Oh well. Anyway, we're picking Lizzie's song to at least made her a little bit better since we told on her. I did a good job. You were happy to see her, it brighten her up right away. She started to sing along with you. Soon enough, her bad mood was a thing of the past. When the car ride was over, you spent the twilight hours watching Lizzie hit things with the other girls of her age. You didn't know much about golf, but you could tell she really liked it, so you sat with your moms trying to puzzle it out. It was nice seating outside after being cooped up in the house all day. You stretched out your legs, letting the last few minutes of the sun warm your skin. When the sun finally was out of sight, dipped behind the horizon, you all got ready to leave. Instead of going straight home, your moms took the family out to dinner. You went into the restaurant that you all been going to ever since you could remember. The whole afternoon had been a bunch of shouting you hadn't been able to stop, but you could kind of tell that all of this helped Lizzie be less angry. The car ride home was quiet, only the radio provided an escape from the silence. Lizzie had been in better spirits now, but the closer you got to your neighborhood, the more she wiggled in her seats and frowned at the window. She knew what was coming when you got home. Clearly, she was dreading it. Soon enough, Mom was turning onto your street and then reversing into the driveway. Once she cut the ignition, it was dead silent. No one spoke or unbuckled their seatbelt and opened their door. Lizzie was the last one out. Once everyone was inside and done taking off their shoes, she propped her hand on her hip.
So,
Now then, Mr. Holton's car is in the driveway, so he should be back from work. That's good news, isn't it, Elizabeth? You and Cove can hash things out before the day's done. Lizzie didn't complain or put up a fight. Her head ducked so she didn't have to meet anyone's eyes. She nodded once. Good. Let's move this to the kitchen. Mom went over to the house phone. The rest of you followed behind her. Mommy put a gentle hand on Lizzie's shoulder as they walked side by side. You watched them from the back. This would only happen because you told Lizzie. Told on Lizzie. Fucking yeah. You didn't regret it. You felt a little guilty, like you betrayed your sister. You hadn't liked doing it, but you had to. It was her fault for doing it in the first place. I guess you didn't like it, but you had to. Being a tattletale didn't feel good. You wouldn't want someone else to tell your moms everything you did. But still, your mom had asked directly, and you didn't want to be a liar even less. Yeah, I should. The four of you stood around the kitchen in a lopsided square. All eyes were on Lizzie, who kept her gaze at her feet. You remember the number for Cove's house, don't you, honey? Oh, was this the time where we had to memorize phone numbers? Lovely. Lizzie jerked her head in another nod. Sullen, without further prompting, she stepped forward and began to dial. Look, a house phone. Mom reached over and pressed the button on the base. Suddenly, you could hear the phone ringing. She turned down the speaker. Oof. The phone rang a couple times and then stopped. Mr. Holton's warm voice came through the other end. Evening, Holton residence. Lizzie looked over at her mom, unsure, and she nodded encouragingly. Hi, Mr. Holton. It's, Lizzie, can I talk to Cove?
Absolutely.
Lizzie Layton, what a surprise, but of course you can say hey to the boy. Also, no color ID, I guess? Yeah. Or he doesn't have caller ID. It could be the time where, like, some houses had it and some didn't. He sounded cheerful as usual, although that didn't mean when he said he was surprised. Saving contacts in your phone, just memorize all the... Hey, I know my mom's number and my house number, and that is about it. And my phone number. Suspense! Surprised, you thought hard, and you were sure that your sister had never called the Cove's house before. I know my mom's number, that's about it. Hey, Maya. I forgot about that. Mom spoke up before Mr. Holton or Lizzie could say any more. Her arms were crossed over her chest, her lips pursed. Hey, Cliff, Naomi, Nolone? I feel so bad, I'm butchering this name. Sophia and I are here too. Good evening, we're sorry to bother you so late. You said nothing to Cope's dad. No, spoke up to say hello too, and everyone's saying hello. Hi, Mr. Holton! Kane's all here, huh? Is something the matter? His voice grew a bit concerned, and Mommy was quick to reassure him. No, well, yes, but everything's going to be okay. Lizzie and Cove got into a bit of a fight today, and we were hoping the two of them could talk and make up. Is that a good time for you and Cove?
What?
A fight? Cove didn't tell me anything about it when I came home. It does explain the funk he's been in tonight. He chuckled lightly despite that. Didn't seem like he really thought it was funny. Anyway, it's good you didn't catch us at a bad time. I'll go grab him for you. There had been Shuffle on the other end. He must have not gone far because you can still hear him call out. Cove! There's someone on the phone for you. And the fact is he answered, it was like, hey, this is the Holton residence. I don't think anyone really answers the phone like that anymore. It's like, hello? What do you want? After a beat of silence, there were more muffled talking from Cove's dad. What do you want, fool? Come on, bud. Lizzie called just so she could talk to you.
Are you sure?
Who this? Your phone, who this? Sophia's on the other line listening too. Don't you want to say hi? It took a bit back and forth, though the conversation seemed to be one-sided since you couldn't hear Cove properly. Eventually, Cove took the phone from his dad.
Hi.
Hello? Hey, it's Lizzie. Yeah, I know. My dad told me. The sass of this man. Cove's tone was defensive. Lizzie turned to Mom, scolding. The one stern look from her, though Lizzie turned away.
Sorry.
I called to say I'm sorry for not playing nice with you today. I won't do it again. Lizzie's eyes were downcast. Her voice was low. You could tell she felt uncomfortable apologizing to Cove in front of everyone. She seemed to be genuine about feeling bad. Cove must have realized that too, because he sighed quietly. Me and Sophia should get gold too. That's right. Lizzie had kept denying you two what you deserved. Yes. I deserve it. Lizzie was momentarily stunned silent by demand. She probably had forgotten what had happened already. Alright, we all win gold. Okay. I guess I'm sorry too. A sense of relief washed over everyone as he accepted the apology. Mom uncrossed her arms while Mommy's shoulders relaxed. Lizzie's eyebrow raised up, and you wondered if she thought she was going to refuse her apology. If she thought he was going to refuse her apology. Dad, can I get off the phone now? Oh, that was always the worst feeling, was like getting called and like they're like, here, the phone's for you, and you're just like, what the fuck? It's like, especially if it wasn't like your friends. I've been watching home. Yeah. You couldn't see him, but it was obvious Cove felt awkward about the situation, and he had come off uncomfortable the entire time, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go back to your room if you want. Be sure to say goodbye first, though. Bye, Lizzie. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sophie. It's just me. I'm just like, haha. You perk up at the mention of your name. You smiled, even though he couldn't see it. Bye, Cove. With that, Cove must have handed the phone to his dad and left since Mr. Holton spoke up.
That's a relief.
All's well as end well. Fucking hell, that saying. As they say. Thank you for arranging this. I'm sure he appreciates it. Ah, shit, I missed it. Come on.
Good job.
No, go back.
That's a relief.
Oh, shit. As Mom replies, Lizzie tugged on Mommy's hand to catch her attention. Can I go now?
Good job.
Sure, sweetie. Thank you very much for apologizing to Cove. Night, Darrow. Get some sleep. Mom flashed a brief smile at Lizzie and nodded her agreement. Given permission to leave, Lizzie scurried off towards the stairs. She seemed to be feeling much better with the incident behind her. Mom and Mommy returned to the phone, taking it off speaker as they continued to talk to Mr. Holton. You couldn't tell what about. You were glad that was the end of it all. Lizzie and Cove might have not got along, but probably still won't, but they weren't mad at each other anymore. Mommy and Mommy weren't upset either. Everything was finally back to normal. With that thought, you retreated to your own room with a spring in your step. Alright. And that's where I'm gonna cut it. Or stop it for the night. I was so suspenseful with that. I actually really like how, like, a lot of the things do remind me of, like, different things from childhood. I was like, oh yeah. It's worst when you, like, just someone wouldn't agree to play with you, like, right? And you're just like, oh my gosh. But I really like it, so gonna end that here. I don't really have much, but we can go back to the main menu. Whee. But thank you all for coming out. Like, slowly getting used to streaming, so Hopefully my cough will go away and I won't have coughing attacks like every like few minutes. What? Oh. Hmm. Well, we can go raid Kalos and choose on. I don't know what she's doing, so I was just chatting. Start raid? I think I did that right. Well, thank you all, and have a good night. Wolfie raid, yeah. They're beating. Oh. Okay. Night, everyone.